Another bombshell revelation just dropping from former Vice President Kamala Harris's upcoming book about the 2024 election called 107 Days. An excerpt published by The Atlantic reveals Harris's first choice to run as her VP was actually former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, but she decided the risk was too great. She writes, Buttigieg, who is gay, quote, would have been an ideal partner if I were a straight white man. But we were already asking a lot of America to accept a woman married to a Jewish man. Boris?
Harris also writes that she wanted to say, screw it, let's just do it, but that it was too big of a risk and there was too much at stake. Let's discuss with Jamal Simmons, a CNN political commentator and the former communications director for the former VP. Jamal, great to see you as always. Why do you think she thought Buttigieg was an ideal partner?
You know, as she wrote in the book, and as so many of us who've watched Secretary Buttigieg over the years, he's just a great communicator. He's from the center of the country, so he's got a very easy way to relate with people in terms of how he communicates on the issues. I think that really matters, and I think she was comfortable with him. You know, I don't know if they always started out that way. Remember, they took a kind of a trip together in that first year when they were in the White House. They kind of allayed concerns that maybe they might be running against each other at some point in the future. But when I was there, what I saw was the Transportation Department under Secretary Buttigieg was very supportive of the vice president. Whenever she would do trips that had to do with transportation issues, he would often fly with us on Air Force Two. So I think they developed a pretty good relationship over time.
Do you think having Buttigieg as her VP pick would have made a difference on the outcome of the election?
You know, she may be right about the concerns about having so much change at one time. I mean, you know, in America, hashtag America, right? We are living through seeing so many Americans feeling left out of the political process when it comes to those of us who are on the left, who are really interested in social change and making sure everybody has a chance to participate in the American experiment. But the question is, how much change can you have at one time? And so I think she saw, obviously, her family was a very blended family. Both, you know, she and Doug, obviously, she mentioned who's Jewish American. They've got family members and different kinds of collaborations between, you know, mixes of races. You know, her mom's Indian American, her dad was Jamaican. You know, so there's a lot going on there. So I think for her perspective, getting somebody who she thought could help her and move in spaces that she couldn't move. She talked a little bit about in the book, she talks a little bit about talking to people who've made this choice before about picking vice presidents and expanding the reach of the vice presidency. So the vice president can go places that she couldn't go. Could they go to rural areas? Could they talk to, you know, union white guys? What could they do that would make it all work for the entire ticket?
I also want to ask you, Jamal, about this excerpt, the first one from her book, where she laments her time as vice president, saying that President Biden's staff not only didn't defend her against attacks from opponents, but were unhappy when she succeeded. I wonder if you think that experience informed who she chose as her running mate, and overall, just what your reflections are on that.
Yeah, you know, being vice president is a very particular thing, and Kamala Harris was a particular kind of vice president. You know, in my experience, I don't think the White House ever built an institution around her that really supported her very well because she was so different, right? First woman of color. Also, remember, she was not a Washington insider, and so many of our recent vice presidents, from Dick Cheney to Joe Biden to Al Gore, to, Mike Pence, they were people who were the Washington insiders while the president was an outsider. Joe Biden didn't need a Washington insider. What Kamala Harris was for him was somebody who could go out in the country. People felt comfortable talking to her. She could bring those stories back to the White House, and she was building an external coalition that helped the White House succeed. And you saw that in 2022 when I was there, when Democrats really surprised people and were able to win that midterm election and gain seats in the Senate and almost hold on to the House. So she was able to help really bring that coalition together. I don't know the Biden White House quite understood how to use her in that role. And I think that may be part of what she perceived, as she was looking for somebody that she would feel comfortable with and would be able to give them the running room and support them while they were also supporting her.
Jamal Simmons, appreciate the perspective.